Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. My name is Pica. I am a Tekken professional from the Philippines. I was a former pro player. At present, I am a content creator, streamer, commentator, and coach for Tekken 8. So welcome. This is my very first Tekken 8 Steve Tips and Guides edition. It goes without saying that I've published a lot of content when it comes to different characters in Tekken, and I've personally found a lot of enjoyment with Steve Fox among other characters. I know a lot of people have been asking for some tutorials of any sort on how to execute some of the more difficult things that I've pulled off with Steve Fox, and some of them are actually on paper just a prerequisite, for a Steve player, regardless of what player skill level you have at the moment. One of the things that people have been requesting is how to perfect or how to be very consistent with clinch 1 to peekaboo forward 1+2 on the wall. I'm gonna try to make this as easy or as understandable as possible, but the big disclaimer is, of course, this still is very reliant on how quickly your body picks up rhythm or, long story short, muscle memory. Granted that Steve, of course, does not have a lot of combo opportunities. Whenever you land a clinch 1 on the wall, it definitely is a very, very big deal because it can result to a wall splat and a full combo thereafter. But some players, especially those who are starting only with Steve Fox or are yet to master this part of his toolkit, they do have a problem with timing. So based on my experience, there are 3 ways for you to perfect this, or at least get this to a good standard. 2 of them are visual cues and 1 is rhythmic. So let's start with the visual cues, right? 1, you can look at Steve Fox because, of course, he's the one executing the move, and you can use his animation as your cue to perform your peekaboo forward 1+2, basically the when. The other visual cue would be the opposing character. So the character receiving the body blows has 3 I'd say jerks or 3 flinches whenever they get hit. So the third hit obviously is your cue as to when you're about to execute your peekaboo forward 1+2. First, let's start with the Steve Fox animation. Then let's go with the opposite character. Now let's go with the rhythmic cue. So one big tip that I would really recommend is that you don't rush your peekaboo forward 1+2. Sure, you have to do it instantly, but if you're doing it too early, not at the right time, you are definitely going to miss your window. So if the visual cues don't necessarily work for you, you can try the audio cues of Steve Fox's attacks, right? So since he does 3 punches during the grab animation, 1, 2, 3, up until the last hit, that's gonna be your preparation time before you execute your instant peekaboo. But do not, and I repeat, this is very important, do not get ahead of the third hit. Do not overthink going to peekaboo. You have to wait for Steve to recover after that third beat. So it's gonna be 3, PAB. Like that. The forward 1+2 just has to be done immediately after your peekaboo stance, your forward 3+4. Those are just some of the important things that you have to take note of when doing the sequence. Now let's talk about some common mistakes. Like I said in the beginning, most of the mistakes that players make when they're starting off understanding this sequence is trying to be too early when it comes to the peekaboo. When that happens, the system doesn't recognize that you inputted peekaboo because you didn't let Steve Fox recover. So you have to wait for that recovery for Steve Fox before you input your peekaboo. Another common mistake is not executing peekaboo enough. So sometimes they try to time it, but they didn't actually execute the stance right then and there. There could be various causes for this. One is you don't have a keybind, and or maybe, just maybe, you went straight to the forward 1+2, which usually looks like this, which is very risky. Another easy tip that I can give you guys is to make sure that you're already holding forward by the time that Steve Fox lands the grab. That is very, very helpful when it comes to timing the peekaboo stance. I mean, let's just make it simple. You're already holding forward. All you have to do is 3+4 and 1+2. And there's your wall splat. So if you find yourself being a little too slow when it comes to instant peekaboo forward 1+2, one easy drill that I tend to give players when they're just starting is to try to punish a rage art with it. Since all rage arts are -15, that trains your senses to be a little faster in executing instant peekaboo. Also, another way of training your instant peekaboo forward 1+2 is by using position change or position switch, which is Steve's back sway grab, and then you go to a different direction. In this case, we're going to go to Steve's side, which guarantees a peekaboo forward 1+2, also for a wall splat. So to wrap things up, some of the most important tidbits that I can give for those of you who are still unable to execute this as cleanly or as consistently. One is, do not rush the timing of your instant peekaboo. Wait for the recovery of Steve before you do your instant peekaboo and 1+2 there, or forward 1+2 thereafter. And two, if the visual cue doesn't work, try to go with rhythm. Personally, that's what helped me a lot, because rhythm, the moment you get it down, your body remembers it, and in the long run, you're no longer going to think about the execution. It just really naturally happens. And don't forget to do it on both sides. That's it for me, Pica Lozano. I'll see you on the next Tekken 8 Steve tips and guides. Take it easy, keep practicing, keep grinding, stay artistic.